Yes, you guys, welcome back. Was there any need for that gas reaction to the start of a news video? Absolutely not, but you know what? What can I say? I'm feeling myself right now. Obviously, the haircut, as you can see, shout out the barber coming through last night to hook me up. Work of art. The craftsmanship, it's on a different level. Obviously, I have to show some love, you know what I mean? So, you guys, you didn't come here to, watch me just talk about myself and my haircut for the next 10 minutes, which I'd love to do, to be honest. You're here to listen to the latest news that has been coming out, and with the 3 stories today, we have more updates surrounding Hakimi. Who will be the winners for Hakimi? For the other 2 stories though, nice big ones, we have more updated news surrounding Adama Traore, and on top of that as well, we will be discussing one of the most exciting young players in Euro 2020 right now, and that is Real Sociedad's Alexander Isak. So for me, I feel like there's some sick stories today. So what I can simply say, you guys, is if you like today's video, if you like the content, if you love the channel, if you love the haircut as well, then make sure you guys smash the hell out of that like button without wasting any more time. So right now, you guys, I think it's only right that we start the news off by discussing what's happening with this Hakimi reports. Right now, things are a bit conflicting. Some reports suggest that maybe Paris Saint-Germain are edging things at this point in time, with others suggesting that we will come back with a renewed effort to get this signing done. At this point in time though, it does seem like, based on all the reports, Hakimi is edging slightly closer to a move to Paris Saint-Germain, and one of the significant reasons behind this is actually Hakimi's family and his wife. His wife is a famous Spanish actress. She's of Tunisian and Spanish descent, and naturally there's more opportunities for her career as well if they move to Paris. I mean, they're both French speaking. For me, it makes more sense for him to move his family to Paris than to London. So I think immediately the reports that suggested that London was a key factor maybe was misunderstood, or not even correct, to be honest. Right now, Paris Saint-Germain have offered Hakimi an $8 million a year contract plus $2 million on top and bonuses too. So it seems like the Hakimi family are going to be very happy with the potential move to Paris. Now, where exactly does this leave us? We all know that we have made an offer of 60 million euros plus Marcos Alonso as well, with the added negotiation bonus that Inter Milan like a few of our players. It's not only Marcos Alonso that we are happy to include in a deal like this, it's also players such as Zappacosta, players such as Emerson, and one new report that came out today was Inter Milan's interest in Ruben Loftus-Cheek. They're looking for an alternative to Eriksen for next season, and with Ruben and his ability to play that box-to-box midfield role, it seems like Italian football could be the perfect place for him to move to play in his preferred position. Inter Milan, Ruben with Lukaku and co, that could be incredibly dangerous and scary. So basically, our efforts for Hakimi, they're not over just yet, man. There's still a lot more room to be able to get this deal done. And it seems like we could offer more players or even offer a cash-only deal, because at this point in time, it seems like Inter Milan are preferring to receive the money instead of having players involved in the deal, which makes a lot of sense when you not only realize their current financial situation, but the fact that they paid 40 million euros to Real Madrid for Hakimi. They've only paid 30 million euros out of that 40 million. It makes no surprise why they are so desperate to have that money up front. This was never ever gonna be a straightforward deal like that. Personally, I think maybe Hakimi has his sights set more on Paris Saint-Germain. Is it the end of the world for us though? Personally, I don't think so. I was never against the signing. I just didn't understand, and I did think it was a bit of overkill in my humble opinion, but a lot can still happen within this time. Let's see what happens though, you guys. So right now, this now links us beautifully to the second story, where we will discuss a player we've spoken about before. His name is Odama Traore, and it seems like coming out from Spain, there's more context and reporting behind our interest in the first place. Now, immediately, one of the biggest advocates to sign Traore is Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel, as reported by reports from Spain, has actually vouched for him with our boards to get him signed for the club. And to be honest, I can see exactly what Thomas Tuchel is thinking. Tuchel has personally recommended Traore because he feels like this is a player that he can work with and can easily play that right wing back role. At this point in time, Odama has a contract that does end in 2023, and what's quite surprising is that Leeds United have shown a lot of interest and they've actually placed a 40 million bid. So is that giving us an indication behind the money that Wolves want to sell him? Or maybe is this a report that maybe is, you know, a bit too overzealous? Because 40 million seems like quite a lot of money, and if Wolves aren't accepting that, then how much money in fact do they want to let Odama leave? Right now, I'll give my thoughts and opinions so we can kind of understand why Tuchel would want Odama for next season. I think before I can even start things, I have to say that, you know, for me, this is what the wing-up position really is about. I feel like it's the modern day position for the old school wingers. You know, back in the day, wingers were receiving on the halfway line. They needed pace to burn over distances. But right now, with how the game's evolved, it feels like that skill set isn't really needed anymore, and I think this is where the wingback position has become a thing again. Odama in that sense could be the perfect one because he's one of those players that when you give momentum to his dribbles and his ability to get past his man, you can't stop him. I mean, not only is he built like an American football player, he has ridiculous pace in short distances, long distances. The acceleration is unreal, and one of the best things, which I think is a world-class talent he has, is his dribbling ability on the ball. I mean, the pace he is constantly playing with, the way that ball is stuck to his foot. You know, he's dribbling with his feet. He's not using his body. He's not trying to just use his pace exclusively. There's skill behind it. And when I envision how Tuchel has looked to try and create those openings for our wingbacks, especially on the right-hand side, where he wants that wingback to make the overlapping run in behind that defensive line, to create angles for cutbacks. He wants to isolate the space out for them to play those quick switch balls to. And we've seen Hudson-Odoi have, you know, good promise playing in that role, but I mean, let's be real, none of us wants to see wingback Odoi. So in that sense, Odama, not only could he play for a top team, he's playing in a very asymmetrical, fluid system where, in a sense, you know, we start in a back three, but when we attack, it does become like a 4-2-3-1. So I could see Odama being an excellent cover for the team, excellent competition, and providing something unique and different in the team. However, you know, ultimately, he is still another wingback, and in that sense, you know, am I going to be like no to Hakimi but yes for Odama? No, it's still going to be the same energy, and I have to say this, we have the Kwabem Hakimi and Livramento. I mean, this guy did not win Young Player this season for no reason. And for me, the hope I'm seeing is that we saw Livramento on the bench a few times near the end of the season. There's no way that Tuchel seeing a player like this and not thinking that he can do something with him. If you can sign Odama, essentially, and, you know, really convert him properly to a wingback role, then I think you can do that with anyone. And for me, as Chelsea fans, I feel the moment we saw Victor Moses quickly become a wingback in like, what, the space of 1 or 2 games, I think that kind of told me everything, well, me personally, it told me everything I needed to know about how this role works. Is Odama really needed when we have such talent like that? I'm not too sure, but at the same time, as I've stressed with Hakimi, because I really mean this, you guys, I'm not like a black or white guy where it's either this or either that. You know, I have my personal takes on things, but I'm still flexible. I still say that if Hakimi is signed or Odama is signed, I'll still support the move, to be honest, and we'll have to see what happens. And without wasting any more time, we end things with the final big story today, and reports from Spain suggest that we are showing links and interest for Real Sociedad's Alexander Isak. And wow, this guy's having a very impressive Euros. He's really demonstrating his skill set and what he can offer. I mean, last season in La Liga, he won the Young Player of the Season awards. 21 years old, getting 17 goals in like, what, 30 games plus 4 sub appearances. That's a very impressive record. And, you know, he made the best step and best move, leaving Dortmund to go to Spain, where personally, I feel like La Liga is that league for technical players. You know, it's a league that allows you to play football. And I feel like strikers that tend to come from La Liga, you know, do quite well in the Premier League. But anyway, at this point in time though, it's only just links and reports. Arsenal showing interest, but Arsenal showing interest in everyone, and you know that most of the times they're not getting anywhere near close to getting those types of deals done. But with Isak, what is very interesting is that his release clause at Sociedad is set at 60 million euros. Dortmund have the option to buy him back for 25 million. That was the clause inserted in the deal when they sold him to Sociedad in the first place. And you know, it gets you thinking, Dortmund could really do with a player like that when Haaland eventually does go. I mean, is it cynical for me to think that if Isak was playing in this Dortmund team that Haaland's currently playing in, that he's scoring over 17 goals in the league? And yeah, like I said, I know it sounds a little bit cynical, but I can't help but feel like that would be a very real possibility. Now, interestingly enough, Tuchel did work with Isak for a brief time before both parties left, and even though Tuchel had no personal say behind the move in the first place, you know, he did have positive things to say about Isak, which still are reflected in his game today. He mentioned his ability to drop deep as well, his combination play, his intelligent movement, and his ability to play with his back to goal. So for whatever reason, I don't know what happened during this time at Dortmund, but I mean, right now he's blossoming, you guys. And to give my thoughts and opinions, I feel like this is a very interesting report. You know, the report is Isak is the alternative to Haaland. And realistically, would he be the best one? I think he'd be a very interesting one for sure. For me, I think Haaland is a better striker though. Isak has shown great promise, and I think that with more development in like 1 more year, 2 more years, you know, 2-3 more seasons, he could be a phenomenal striker. But for me, Haaland at a younger age, he performs in the big games, his big game record, as we've seen in the Champions League. Defenders can't really handle him. I feel like he has those qualities that maybe Isak does not have at this point in time, with most of Isak's goals coming against bottom half teams in La Liga. Now, I'm not taking anything away from his performances, but I'm just bringing up the difference between him and Haaland, where Haaland, you know, he scores against anyone and everyone. And I think that reflects maybe the different levels between the players at this point in time. Still though, I think that Isak is, you know, that type of forward role that we want for next season. You know, that complete forward role, a forward that can participate in multiple phases in the game. He's not just a target man, he's not just a poacher, he's not just about the link up, he can do all of that. And for me, I always appreciate players like that a lot more because, you know, when you actually watch games, you know, the other team is trying to beat you as well, meaning that the in-game tactics constantly shift and change all the time. So I want players that are able to be multifaceted and can contribute to multiple phases of the game. I think they're always the most exciting ones, they're normally the best ones, and for me, Isak definitely fits that profile. But would I be opposed to this deal? You know what? I would not be, because I'm always about having patience for young players around this age, because, you know, you believe in them, you trust in them, you know, and you play the long game, you give them time to grow and develop. You're laughing by the time they turn 23 and they're ready to really, you know, take things to even different levels. Would he be like an automatic starter and instant success if he was signed? You know, I think you still need a period of time to acclimatize to the league and gel, but, you know, in terms of how we like to use our forwards, as we've seen in Kai Havertz, for example, Kai just doesn't stay up front. You know, he's able to roam, come deep, move wide, and, you know, for me, that's the type of profile that Isak has as well, and I think he'd be quite good. If we couldn't sign Haaland, if we have a squad that has maybe, you know, Isak, Havertz competing for the 4 positions, Tammy, if he's still around, who knows who's going to pay the money? We'll find out soon. I feel like that's definitely a young team that will only get more goals for next season. However, it feels like with the ambition we have from the boards, we want to win more things next season. So we want to sign someone who's not the finished article, but is showing signs that his game maybe is on a higher level compared to others, and this is where Haaland steps in. You know, let's see what happens with the story, you guys. So right now, I'm going to end things, wrap things up, keep things moving, comment and subscribe. I'm in EFC, this is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.